Here we go. 3, 2, and 1.
Boom! Welcome to Big Honker Podcast, brought to you by MLR Graphics. They did our unvaxxed and overtaxed shirts. Check them out in Breckenridge, Texas. That's MLRgraphics.com. That's MLRgraphics.com. I know I speak fast. With me today is the world-famous Andy Shaver, and this is The World on Fire.
It is. Did you see the...
Sucker's not on fire. It's some bitch's torched.
Did you see the abomination of a national anthem at the home run derby last night?
Yeah, what is... You know, I didn't, because I didn't watch the game, but I saw it. So, like any inquisitive person, I had to listen.
Ooh, boy.
I always get mad when the people try to add to it.
She didn't add to it. She was
sucked. Terrible. No, I did. But that's what I was expecting, was that, they go
right.
to the land of the free, and it goes for 10 minutes.
Evidently, all the players were struggling to keep a straight face during it.
And she's a singer.
Yeah.
Who's she sleeping with?
I don't know. That was bad, though.
And there are some people
and
out
I'm
there.
not a singer, so I'm I could not do any better.
You're not judging, because I'm the same way. I can't sing.
I couldn't do any better, but...
You couldn't do much worse.
Sheesh.
It was bad.
It was Roseanne Barr bad.
And there's people out there that are professional singers that make a lot of money that are not good singers, and Willie Nelson is one of them.
Sure.
And Chris Christopherson was a terrible singer, or is a terrible singer.
I wonder if Willie Nelson's ever done the national anthem.
Probably so, and people probably love it because it'd just be Willie, but Willie is not a good singer. There are people out there. Chris Stapleton is a good singer. He has a great voice.
That's his. Nobody will ever top that.
No, Brad Paisley. Not Brad Paisley. What's the guy's name that's on The Voice? The kid from Oklahoma. Blake Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
Blake Shelton's got a great voice. There are people that have really good voices out there that are singers, and there's some of them that get by, and I have no idea how they got a break. But obviously that girl, and she's not that good looking either, so I was kind of... She's not a smoke show either, but she was terrible.
I cannot find any place where Willie Nelson has done it. He sung America the Beautiful, but never...
Well, he's not a very good singer. Ray Charles, great singer.
Meatloaf has done it. Mark Anthony's done it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are good, but she was terrible.
Marvin Gaye.
She was bad. And I feel sorry for her, and I feel sorry for whoever hired her, because they're catching some shit at work today.
Right.
They're like, really, that's what you did? Did you not listen to her sing? And she might be just a typical singer that's...
A lot of auto-tune.
Yep. Boy, she's got a lot of it, because she was bad. I wonder who sings tonight, because tonight's the actual game. Surely
I don't know.
Surely they've improved that. I'm going to tell you some people that I feel sorry for right now in the world. I feel sorry for the parents of the kid that shot at Trump. I do. I don't know. If one of your boys would have done that, you wouldn't have felt bad?
Are they receiving a lot of backlash or anything?
I feel bad for them.
Yeah.
I mean, you imagine your kid doing something like that? I mean, I don't know that his parents were grooming him to do that. I don't know nothing about his parents. I don't know nothing about him. He was bullied as a kid. He was quiet. He sat by himself. One of those typical kids that's a victim, and that's really a victim. And he wasn't a victim in this at all, and I'm not taking up for him or defending him at all, but I feel sorry for his parents. There are a lot of good people out there that have shitty kids.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of shitty people that have really good kids too. It's a double streak, but I feel sorry for his parents. I pray for his parents. That's a tough deal.
Sure.
No different than if you were Timothy McVeigh's parents, or any other someone that committed an atrocity like that, because you don't teach your kids, I don't think, to be that way.
He had to hear it from somewhere.
Yeah, I wonder if he's I don't know where he was indoctrinated at, but I feel sorry for his family, unless they're the ones that indoctrinated him, and I'm betting they didn't.
Right.
I bet they didn't know. And he was. I feel sorry for the kid that sits in the corner that don't have no friends. I do. I feel sorry for that kid, because there's been kids, and you've done the same thing. I bet you've seen a kid and you thought, he's going to end up being a school shooter one day.
Yeah.
I mean, we all say that, and that's really a bad thing. So, anyways, I feel sorry for him. I also feel sorry for someone that has nothing to do with the shooting stuff. I feel sorry for Bronny James.
Why? What'd he do?
Every kid out there that has a dad that plays professional sports probably wants to be their dad to some degree growing up as a little kid.
Yeah, but LeBron is a once-in-a-generation talent.
Bingo. Just like Michael Jordan's kids.
Yeah.
But Michael Jordan didn't put his kids in the position that LeBron James has forced the Lakers to put his kids in. His kid is averaging, I just looked this up today because I saw a stat on it, and I was like, man, I feel sorry for that kid. And I do. And this really resonated, the fact that I feel sorry for him.
The season hasn't even started.
No, they're playing Summer League basketball, which is not even the NBA players. There's like one or two kids on each team that will actually make the roster. Okay, Bronny James last night had 2 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 for 5 on the free throws, and 0 for 3 from three-pointers. In 4 summer league games, he's averaging less than 4 points a game,
Yikes.
1.5 assists, less than 4 rebounds, 1 steal, and almost 2 turnovers. 7 for 33 shooting the ball from the field, 0 for 15 shooting three-pointers, and 3 for 6 for free throws. The kid's not an NBA player, and he got drafted because of his dad, and I understand that. Every CEO out there's kids have gotten a job from somebody because of who their dad was.
Right.
It happens. I understand why the Lakers said, hey, we'll give the kid but they gave him this guaranteed contract a second round guy never gets and all this other shit. But LeBron James has set his son up for failure because I just don't think his son is an NBA player. Yeah. I don't care that they draft him. I don't care what they do, but I feel sorry for his son because I think his son is getting all this spotlight. That kid should have stayed in school for 4 years, has a ton of money. His dad's a billionaire and just enjoyed life and wants to be his own man. And I'm proud for him, but he needs to go. He should have stayed in college for 2 or 3 more years. He's just not talented enough to be in the NBA. And I feel sorry for the kid that lost a job in that spot because of him.
Right. Yeah, that's the bad part.
Yeah, because it's hard. There's 12 guys on an NBA team. I don't know if they have a couple of guys. I don't know if they even have a injured reserve list. I think they can do that, and they bring guys up for 10-day contracts is what they used to be. But there's 12 guys. There's 30 teams. There's 360 guys playing pro basketball, and probably a third of them now are foreigners playing. And the NBA has become a European league. And so he's taken a spot from someone else that should have got to play that deserved it more than he did. So that's
interesting to see what happens whenever the season starts. But those numbers will not cut it.
No, I mean, are they going to eat up one of their spots by just letting somebody's dad have his kid play with him?
Right.
I heard an interesting take on this yesterday on sports radio and didn't know these stats, how bad they were. They said that they think that Rich Paul is LeBron's best friend.
Don't know.
It is, and they grew up together, and Rich Paul is dating Adele, and he's a sports agent. And he's got all these big, I mean, he's a very wealthy moving man in LA, but he's lived off LeBron, got him all these breaks and stuff. Anyways, he's Bronny's agent. Mm-hmm. And he said, supposedly they're telling the Lakers, no, you're going to have to keep him on the roster. That's part of the deal the whole time. Supposedly somebody from the Lakers has leaked that, no, they want to send him to the G League, but they'll probably bring him up on Christmas Day, the game of the game of the day on Christmas Day, and let him play with his dad and be a big breakout. The kid's going to sell a lot of jerseys and stuff because of who he is, but
sure.
I feel sorry for him because, deep down, he knows what his numbers are. He knows he can't cut it.
Well, and they just got that new coach. It was a JJ Redick guy.
Yeah, but they didn't want him first. They wanted the guy from UConn, Bobby Hurley, and he turned him down. I think it was Bobby Hurley.
Right.
One of the Hurley boys is at UConn. He turned him down.
I like JJ Redick.
I don't know anything about him.
About him. I mean, I've seen some of his stuff, but I mean, he was a fairly accomplished basketball player, and
he's one of LeBron's friends, which
make
means
a good coach.
That's going to be a bad deal.
You think? He's friends with LeBron?
Yeah, him and LeBron had a podcast together. LeBron is a team killer. And he really is. He always wants to control the coaching, this, and that. And outside of them winning in Los Angeles during the COVID years, which is not a real year, they haven't done nothing.
Right.
Very overrated. And before we get off sports talk real quick, I saw where FS1 is canceling Skip after this season.
Really?
This next month's his last month. I don't know if that's true or not. I just saw it on Twitter, and I was tired and fell asleep, and I didn't read up on it. But supposedly they're out. I like it now. I miss the Shannon and Skip bitching back and forth, and Shannon wears me out. But some parts of them I really enjoyed. But I like Keyshawn Johnson, and I like Richard Sherman. They grill him, and they're both really intelligent people.
Right.
Yeah. Richard Sherman is a very sharp man. Don't let anybody fool you. He is a sharp guy.
Needs to stay off the hooch a little bit.
Well, he probably don't need to drink as much, but there's a lot of smart guys that drink too much.
Yeah. Right. But I don't know. We'll see. I would say that I'm excited about basketball season, but I would be lying. Oh,
me too. I give a shit. They could go on strike tomorrow. But the same thing for hockey, and that makes me feel bad because I got a lot of buddies that are big hockey guys, but I don't know. I don't watch hockey. I don't know nothing about it.
Right.
So I wouldn't miss it if it wasn't here. Poor Blake would. They love it up there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you had to choose between the University of Nebraska or a Colorado Avalanche, it'd be pretty easy to be an Avalanche fan.
Yeah. Well, that's true too.
All right, let's dig into the woods here. What we need to talk about.
Ooh, the RNC.
Now, I did not watch the RNC,
okay.
and I have no reason to watch it. I wouldn't have watched it if nothing would have happened Saturday. I still wouldn't have watched the RNC. I don't really care. I'm voting for Trump. And Mom brought it to my attention that they, what was the lady's name? Amber Rose?
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that come out the other day and I know why she's on there. She had a big TikTok the other day, and someone asked her about if she still supported Trump, and she's like, yes, that's my man. I wasn't on his team before, but I am now, and I support him. The reason they brung her up there is because of the single issue voter, and they're trying to touch that. I don't know if that's a mistake or not.
What's the single issue voter?
The Democrats have tons of single issue voters. They've got the Muslims that vote for the Democrats because the Muslims give money to Hamas. They've got gay people that do it because supposedly they're for gay people. Well, if they're for gay people, they wouldn't be supporting the Muslims. They've got guys on there that are transgenders that want to wear a dress in the deal. They're single issue. That's all they worry about. That's what a single issue voter is. They got one thing that they worry about, and that's it. You got that Karen up there in somewhere that hates guns. So she wants to vote for Democrats just because of the gun issue. They don't ever look at all the things together. You got the person out there that hates the cops, so they vote for Democrats just because of the cops. So they're single issue voters. It's all that they think about. And I think that's probably why they brung her on there, is because she does resonate in the black community really well, and it helps bring black people over. And that's something the Republicans are trying to do. They're setting, I think I saw a deal the other day that 20% of the black vote now is with Trump. Used to be like 7%.
I just don't know why you get her. Have her at the convention. But why does she need to speak?
I don't know. I wouldn't have had her speak.
She's got face tattoos and stripper, porn star, sleeping with basketball players. Like, that's her claim to fame.
So you're against girls sleeping with basketball players?
Well, I don't know why.
And strippers?
I don't know why the RNC would choose to celebrate that.
Well, I don't either, but you sound like a hypocrite.
No.
Andy, have you ever been to a strip club?
I am just saying that this is the...
Have you?
We're getting... Yes, of course I
Okay,
have.
well, then you're a hypocrite because you're mad at her for being a stripper, you just said.
I'm not mad at her for being a stripper. I am mad at the RNC thinking that, oh, yeah, this is the person that we need to see coming. You got to think, the Republican Party has the most momentum that they've had in decades.
Since Ronald Reagan was in his first term.
Decades.
Yes.
And what's the first act that we're going to do? What's the very first thing that we're going to do? We got Trump coming out here. Trump's not supposed to be there day one, right? He was only going to be there Thursday whenever he makes his speech. We got Trump coming out there. Everything's, all eyes are on this event. And what's the first thing that we do? We get Amber Rose out there talking to us, and then we get some lady, I don't know her faith, but she's praying to all these different gods in front of Trump.
I can't.
I mean, that's our plan.
I can't take up for that.
That's how we're gonna seize this momentum. We're gonna get a lady up there. Let me see. Who all did she pray to? It doesn't even say, but I mean, she even says some weird name, Hawasha or something, some shit like that. The one true God.
I can't take up for it.
Good planning. Good planning, RNC.
I would agree with you.
You knocked that out of the park.
I would agree with you on that part.
Call an audible or something.
Yes,
I mean, the guy almost got shot. He did get shot. He almost got killed on Saturday. And then on Monday, this is how we're going to capture the momentum. Cool. All right. Makes a lot of sense. They DEI'd the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, I didn't watch, and I won't watch any of it. But I agree with you. But all I can think of is it was because of single issue voters is all I can think of. I don't know otherwise, and I wouldn't have done it. I would have kept it about gods, guns, patriots, America first, and left it at that. And I still would.
Here's this lady praying to whoever. I don't know. It's a 40-second clip. So, oh, she's singing. That's how we're going to open it up.
Dear Waheguru, our one true God, we thank you for creating America as a unique haven on this earth where all people are free to worship according to their faith. We seek your blessings and guidance for our beloved country. Please bless our people with wisdom as they vote in the upcoming election, and please bless with humility, honesty, skill, and integrity all those who conduct the election.
She had to cover her head before she was allowed to pray.
Okay, hold on just a minute now. Take out the Hashagawi shit, and everything she said is exactly the way I feel. You don't?
I
don't know who Hashagashi. I don't know if he's a Comanche war god. I don't know if he's some tribal monk that drinks fungus tea. I don't know what the hell it was, and I really don't care. But the rest of everything she said, I agreed with. Did you not? Humility, I mean, everything else she said is right. I don't know why she's there. I can't defend that. I'm not defending it. I'm just saying I don't even know who the hell she's talking about. But everything she said other than that first part, I agreed on.
Let me see if I can find Hawashagabi and what he does.
I don't even know how you can spell it.
I'm really shooting in the dark here. Okay. Hawahagaru.
Okay, that's
or whatever
probably who it was.
Hawagaru. The Sikhs believe that there is only one God, which is a genderless and eternal God. Therefore, they refer to God as that word. Sikhs believe in rebirth and karma, meaning their religion is the way of life, and that in every action they should remember God. So, she is a Sikh. Sikh. Is that the word?
I think Sikhs, and I think they're the ones that are in Iran that the Muslims hate.
No.
I think. I don't know. I don't
They
know
got a
shit about
genderless
that.
God, so.
So there you go. Well, anyways, I mean, I can't defend any of that stuff. Just like I can't. We're going to get into the big dog here too. We're going to talk about the vice president.
Mm-hmm. JD Vance from Ohio.
I was not excited about JD Vance as the vice president, but I'm not voting for the vice president. I'm voting for the president. I was not excited about Mike Pence when he first got here. Mike Pence, I thought, did a really good job for the first 42 months he was vice president. And after that, I'm not so sold on him. But the first 42 months, I liked Mike Pence. I thought he was a good, solid dude. I've listened to this JD Vance talk a little bit and some stuff. He's a sharp man. Very sharp man. Graduated from Ohio State in 2 years. It scares me that he went to Yale. That's my big, that bothers me. I'm so tired of the East Coast guys. Or not the East Coast guys, that Ivy League skull and bone stuff, because our path has not been real good with Yale people in Washington, D.C.
Been a little rocky.
You called it the other day. You said that we would have a moderate, that they would get somebody from the deep state in there.
An insider.
An insider. We won't claim a deep state. We'll claim an insider. He catches a lot of crap because he was anti-Trump in 2015.
16, 17, and 18.
Is that how long it was?
It was a while.
I thought it was before Trump got elected. Once Trump got elected, I don't know that he was anti-Trump. I'm not saying he's not. So I can't defend that spot. His wife's an attractive lady. Does that help?
Is she?
He's a sharp guy. He's wrote a book called I can't remember the name of it. He's got a book out that's out right now. There's something on Netflix made a movie about it.
Right. Hillbilly something.
Hillbillies.
Elegy or something like that.
Hillbilly. Well, I don't even, what's it about?
I have no clue.
Me neither. So I don't know much about JD Vance. He's there. I like Trump. I think Trump's trying to be more political this time than he was before, and it may bite him in his ass, and it may not. I think that when he gets in office, there's going to be a whole lot of heads rolling. So I don't know if JD Vance is good or not. What your younger brother tells me, he likes him because he's young. He's 39 years old now.
Which my youngest brother?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, you said something that I've repeated about 5 times in the last day, and it made a lot of sense when you said, I hate that if he picks a man when they debate Kamala Harris, it's going to be absolute trash. He will trash her. Did you know who stepped up and wants to debate him now?
Tulsi?
Nancy Pelosi wants to attack
JD
Vance.
Vance.
Yeah, it's the same shit. No, Tulsi supports that choice.
No. I thought Tulsi was going to step up and debate her, Kamala.
Oh, it would be terrible.
Kamala.
Candace Owens would make Kamala so belittle. That would be so bad. Did you see her and Don Lemon the other day?
Mm-mm.
Don Lemon was on her about it turned out to the January 6th deal is what she turned it into.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about the lady that got killed there. And she goes, it's funny. She goes, now the game plan is the cops were doing their job when they shot this lady. She goes, but when the Black Lives Matter crowd was going everywhere, and we had George Floyd deal, it wasn't about the cop doing his job or Michael Brown or any of the other thing. It was all about how the cops are terrible. But the cop killed someone that supported Trump, so the cops are good now. She goes, so what do you call an insurrection? She goes, because I call an insurrection what happened when the Supreme Court was voting on Kavanaugh. She goes,
right.
That wasn't an insurrection?
Right.
And she named all 4 or 5 deals. She goes, so Don, just tell me. And boy, he was getting flustered.
Really?
Well, I don't want to talk about that. She goes, no, you never do. And she made it. He let her talk. He didn't like it, but she talked a lot. But anyways, Candace Owens would flip them a new ass.
Right.
You're not excited about it. Neither am I.
Not at all. I mean, it's just you got all this momentum.
Who would you have picked that would have kept the momentum going? You say anybody, so he did.
The thing that I'm just most upset about is that it doesn't seem like Trump learned his lesson from his first administration. He's continuing to surround himself with people that are not on his side.
I can't
He did
argue.
that with Pence. He did that with his entire cabinet, and now it seems like he did not learn his lesson. You know, everybody's going to say, "Oh, well, you know, he learned his lesson from COVID. He took bad advice." That's because you surround yourself with people that want to see you fail on a fundamental level.
I mean, if I was going to pick JD Vance, I would have taken Tim Scott.
Anybody that's had your back from day one is who I would have picked.
I would have went with Tim
But
Scott.
now, okay, so now let's say this, because the vice president is kind of the heir apparent to the Republican Party.
Yes.
So JD Vance is going to be that guy. Okay, well, Trump does his election, and now all of a sudden we're going to get JD Vance in there, who's an establishment guy. It's no different than having a Bush as your vice president.
I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna have to wait and see what JD Vance is like. We'll see what I don't. The deal is out on him. I have a good friend in Ohio, a guy who hunts with us every year. He messaged me yesterday and he said, "I like him." He said, "I know him. He's a good guy." He goes, "He'll be good for America."
I got a friend in Ohio that doesn't like him,
and I told him that too. And this guy has dealt with him before. Now I don't know if our other friend has dealt with him. I don't know, but I've heard mixed emotions on two different sides. Well, all we can do is play it out and see what happens. If he's not, I don't think he's going to be the 2028 candidate anyways. I think the 2028 candidate's going to be Donald Trump Jr. I really do. I think Donald's going to push his son when he gets
That goes back
done.
to the Bronny and LeBron talk. You're not going to have another Donald Trump, so you're going to try to reincarnate it with his son.
No, I'm not trying to reincarnate it, but I like his son. I think his son's got a lot of values we have, and a lot of stuff that the media hits Donald Sr. on, they can't hit Donald Trump Jr. on. He's been married once. No, he's married. He's divorced too. And he's with Gavin Newsom's ex-wife. So I don't know. But that's what I think is going to happen. I think they're going to start grooming Donald Trump Jr. to be there, or Donald's daughter. I don't know that JD Vance is going to be the guy. First, we got to get Trump elected president. But yeah, they do have a lot of momentum going. Don't screw it up with this stuff. I don't get all these things. I don't get it. Now, did you see the leaked audio of RFK and Donald Trump's deal?
The video, yes.
About the
vaccines and how they're not safe at all.
No, they're not. And that's the truth. Now,
for those who hadn't seen it, I can play that.
Okay. That's it.
Well, it's not. It acts like it's just a picture.
Well, they're cutting it out. I think somebody's trying to get it out. Anyways, he come out and said that the vaccine was too damn big. It's like giving a horse dose to a kid or something.
Right.
And what he's saying is probably true. And we all know this. And Donald Trump needs to come out and say, okay, there.
I want to do small doses. Small doses. When you feed a baby, Bobby, a vaccination that has like 38 different vaccines, and it looks like it's meant for a horse, not a 10-pound or 20-pound baby. It looks like you should be giving a horse this. And do you ever see the size of it? Right? It's this massive. And then you see the baby all of a sudden starting to change radically. I've seen it too many times, and then you hear that it doesn't have an impact, right? But you and I talked about that a long time ago, and anyway, I would love you to do something, and I think it'll be so good for you and so big for you, and we're gonna win. We're gonna win. It's wrong.
Okay, I'm RFK Jr. is going to go big spot in this cabinet somewhere. I don't know what it's going to be. He may be the ambassador to Great Britain like his grandfather was. I don't know what's going to happen. But Trump pushed through the vaccine, but he's not a scientist. He was doing what was told the best deal. I wish Trump would come out and say, listen, I pushed for the vaccine. I did warp speed. We got it done. We cut the red tape and stuff. It's not good. Don't take it. It's a moneymaker for Pfizer and Moderna. That's what it's all about. And I'd get in front of that right now and nip that in the bud. But the Democrats can't push the anti-vax deal because that's part of their deal. So that's kind of a moot point with this election. What do you think the big points are on this election? Immigration?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be immigration, and immigration is going to be the same stuff.
But I mean, what do you think is going to be the focus on this deal? Because the vaccine, the Democrats don't want to touch the vaccine either, because they're getting lined all their money, and so they don't want to come out and say that it was a mistake and we should have never done it. So that's a moot point. Gay marriage is a moot point now. Mm-hmm. Abortion and the border. And the abortion answer is it's a states' rights deal.
I agree.
Go to your state. If you want to have an abortion, you live in Utah, you're not getting an abortion in Utah. They're not going to let you have one. So if you get knocked up in Utah, go to Nevada or somewhere that'll give it for you. That's the answer to it.
But Trump has done his dead level best to discredit what RFK has said about the vaccines.
Yeah, of course it is. Politicians. Yes.
But why are we saying one thing? And I know why.
Votes.
But it's just why get on stage and be like, no, this guy's kooky, and like just listen to him about his vaccines, and you'll realize that he's not a intelligent, smart, viable candidate. And then you get him on the phone, and it's like, listen,
votes.
We know that you're right, but that's fake. Everybody sees Trump as this guy that's going to come in and change everything, and he's saying one thing to the public, and then he gets behind closed doors and he's saying something totally different. He's
going to have to come out now and push out against the anti-vax.
And I don't like that this was leaked. And I don't think that RFK Jr. knew that it was going to be leaked.
He
apologized. From what I've seen, it was Trey, the third, RFK 3, 3.0. So if you listen to what if you believe what RFK said, he was filming something already and they kept the tape rolling whenever the phone call came. I think that his son thought that call was going to be
Dad's going to be a vice president.
Dad's going to be vice president. And it wasn't. It was, will you take a cabinet position? And I think that pissed off his son. And he's like, fuck this. I'm going to release this to Twitter. So I don't, the whole leaking and all that stuff, it's not a good look. I don't think it's a good look for RFK. I don't think it's a good look for Trump saying this on a phone call, but he said totally opposite things in public.
This would have been big news last Tuesday.
You think so?
Yeah, last Tuesday it would have been.
I don't know that it's big news more than it's just not a good look.
But it would have been a big issue. It's not now.
Well, no, I mean,
but everything's different now than it was.
Sure.
And so the Democrats have nothing. They're in such a fucked up mess right now. They have nothing they can come out with really solid to put again. We've never had an election like this ever. There's always been something you could really come back on somebody on. Mm-hmm. The Democrats have nothing.
Right.
I mean, they have nothing at all.
Well, I think they're conceding this election.
They should.
I mean, you can tell.
They have nothing to go by. What's killing them now, this is the deal on JD Vance. Back to this deal.
Okay.
I read a thing on that this morning. They said the Democrats that are in toss-up spots in the Senate hated this pick. They said it absolutely kills their chances of getting to get reelected. John Tester in Montana was one of them. There was 3 other ones or something, and it kills them. It swung the needle like 5 points over to the Republican side on all the deals.
By picking Vance?
Yes, because JD Vance resonates with those people. They said this is really big for Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Montana, and some other places. I don't know why. I do not have a clue why, but they said it helps them a lot. A lot of people that were on the deal about, well, if Trump's in office, if Trump's in office, we got this guy here that's a solid, good young guy. We got a fresh mind here. You either got Kamala going to come in or you got JD Vance. Well, that's not even a close race.
Another thing I saw was if you pick RFK, you get assassination insurance. You going to kill Trump? Who are you going to get?
I can't believe you said that.
No, what it is.
No, I heard some talk about that too.
You can't go after Trump because now all of a sudden you're going to get RFK as your president. You get the insider, you get the establishment guy. You've not done yourself any favors because the establishment probably wants JD Vance in that position.
A guy talked about this on the radio today, and he also said, or not today, yesterday, last night I was listening to him. He was talking about this, but he also said, and I wish I'd remembered which I flipped through 15 pages last night, said that. Let's see how did he put it, that if Kamala gets elected, we know what we have. With JD Vance, you don't know what you're having. But if we would have taken RFK Jr., then you're helping Joe Biden. By not taking RFK Jr., you're taking a lot of votes that RFK is going to get that are Biden votes. He said, we don't think RFK Jr. is going to get very many Trump votes, but he's going to get a lot of Biden votes in some places. Lots.
So keep him on the ticket.
Keep him on the ticket so it keeps him from snagging. Or
Right.
he'll snag more of Biden's votes.
He'll hurt Biden more than he'll help Trump being the VP.
If the world keeps going the way it's going, some of those East Coast states that never come into play are going to come into play with RFK Jr. being in the election. I don't
What do
think,
you mean?
like Massachusetts, we'll just use Massachusetts as an example.
Uh-huh.
I don't know how many points that Trump lost to Biden by. I'm going to say 13%. I'm going to say Joe Biden probably got somewhere around 62% of the votes in Massachusetts. And I may be wrong on that, but I'm just guessing. But with RFK being in there, and if he takes 5% of those votes, then all of a sudden that's come into play.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, and someone said that RFK didn't get in there. RFK's a bigger asset. It's kind of like Bill Clinton. That was H. Ross Perot helped Bill Clinton more than he helped George Bush by a bunch.
Right. Let me see. Where are you
It's hard to believe that this is middle of July. We're going to go through
65 to 32.
65%. So see, and he's going to pick up a bunch of those. You know,
He will not win by that much in Massachusetts with RFK on the ticket.
no. And what'll happen is Trump's going to pick up some votes there. People are fed up. I mean, it's not like he's going to get straight, but let's say it was 65. It was almost doubled him. He did double him, 2.3 to 1.1 million votes. Now we're going to get into probably Trump's going to pick up 500,000. He could get to 1.6 million maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And if
You think that few?
what in Massachusetts?
Yeah.
If he picks up 500,000 votes, that's 1.6. You take 500,000 away from Joe Biden, that's 1.8. And if Kennedy gets 300,000 or 400,000 of them, Trump wins that state.
Right.
I'm not saying it's going to happen in that blue ass state of Massachusetts, but somewhere on the East Coast, it's going to cost him a state.
Mm-hmm. Well, that makes sense.
And one state and those 5 to 10 electoral votes, that's a lot. I already got a bet with Payne on this anyways.
What?
We got a bet on how many states Trump wins.
Ooh.
My bet with Payne is
I might want in on this action.
okay. Trump wins 38 states.
Payne's taking the under?
Payne told me he don't think he wins but 35. Payne said I think he wins the election, but he said I think he wins 35 states. I said 38. So we've got all of our fantasy football money bet on
$150?
I've got 50. I'm allowed 14 states. That's the over under. I've got over 36 states. Payne's got that Biden wins more than 14 states. You pull up the electoral map.
Okay.
That's our bet. I think Trump wins 38 states.
2024.
But our over under is 14.
I wonder if there's a way that we could see what everything's polling at right now.
I don't know. I don't trust polls that much, but that might be it. What you're pulling up right there. Okay, was that the election time last time?
No, this is 2024.
Yep, 2020. That's what we're going by. 2024. Just looking at it.
Okay.
I mean, no. What is that's 2024 right now?
Yeah. So over here, it's deep red.
okay.
Deep red is safe, likely, leans, and then this is a toss up. So they got for those of you watching on YouTube or Spotify, you can see the graphic. Nevada's a toss up. Arizona, Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania are all toss ups.
Okay. Here's what I think is going to happen. I think Trump's going to lose Hawaii.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to lose Washington, probably Oregon and California. That's 4 states. Okay. Illinois is 5. And then he's going to win 8 states in that big cluster fuck up in the Northeast. He's not going to win Colorado. He's not going to win New Mexico. He won't win. I'm talking about Biden. Biden will not win Nevada, Arizona, Colorado, or New Mexico. He won't win Wisconsin.
You think Colorado turns blue?
I think
red?
Colorado turns red, and I think that Minnesota turns red. Illinois is not. Illinois, California, Illinois, and New York. New York, Chicago, and L.A., and San Francisco. You ain't getting that shit. They can have them shitholes. And I feel sorry for the good people in Illinois. I feel sorry for the good people in New York and California. Live with all them liberal fucks. But that's what I think is going to happen. Maine, I wouldn't be surprised if Trump wins Maine. Portland is a big area right there, but you get outside of Portland, everybody's going to be a Trump person. But so Maine wouldn't shock me. He's going to win Vermont or New Hampshire. I mean, he's going to win New Hampshire, and he's going to win New Jersey.
So you've got it at 1, 2, 3.
Hawaii's 4.
4.
Illinois is 5.
5.
And then go to the right and count them. You can count them. Massachusetts. Nope, down to the right, to the down.
Oh,
Down those boxes.
6.
That's That's Massachusetts.
7.
Rhode Island 7. Connecticut's 8. I don't think he loses New Jersey.
Okay.
Delaware's 9.
Maryland.
Maryland's 10. DC I didn't even count as a state as 11. We didn't count that in the deal, so 10.
And New York, 11.
11. And I said 12. Vermont is 12. That's my 12th state. That's what I've got him winning. Or that's what I've got Joe Biden winning.
Shit, I was going to say 40. But
That was my original deal till I went back and did my math and I started looking.
Yeah, I don't think he can do 40.
I'm going 38. I think 38's a pretty safe bet. It could be 37 or 36, but it's a landslide.
You got 36 and up is what you said?
Yep, I got 36 and up, and I think that's very safe.
I don't want to take that bet. That seems too safe for me. I think it's safe that he'll win 36. I was going to say if
I said 40 until we did the math.
If we could get some good odds on 40, I might take it, but I don't. Just going off this, I don't see it because he's going to lose these 3.
Yeah, Oregon, they said, is getting closer, though.
He's going to lose Hawaii, so now you're at 4.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he can somehow flip New York.
I don't.
And I know he's doing a lot of work in New York right now, but that's a tough state to turn over. So now you're at 5, and then, like you said, you got this cluster of states right here. You can only...
But what's funny about him is there's no electoral votes there hardly at all.
No. But it's just as far as this bet goes.
Yeah. You look right there. You got Massachusetts 11, Rhode Island's 4, that's 15, Connecticut 7 is 22, Delaware's 5 is 25, Maryland's 10 is 35, DC 3, that's 38. How many's Florida by itself? 30?
30, yeah.
So you're only losing 8 electoral votes and he wins all that shit up there.
Yeah.
And
no, I know it doesn't have much bearing on the election. It's just as far as this bet goes.
Yeah. It's the same as Trump winning Montana, Idaho, all that shit out there. It really, I mean, it matters, but it's not a whole lot of electoral votes.
Right.
But I see that's what I see happening. New York State is so bad, and a guy told me this when we was in Sodas Point a couple years ago. He said that New York City has got such a big population that for you to win the state and make it red, 95% of the people outside of New York City have to vote red for it to happen. Now, with all this shit going on up there, that number's gotten a lot smaller. And then we have a mutual friend that lives in Brooklyn, and he told me the other day there's Trump stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
He goes, I've never seen nothing like this.
Yeah.
And he said, you see more and more of it. You see people on the street talking about it. The people on the street ain't as dumb. First of all, the main thing that's helping the people on the street is when they go to a fucking grocery store.
Sure.
I mean, you can tell people what you want all the time. You know, I saw some dipshit out here that's a big Democrat arguing about how the best economy we've ever had. I don't know where the fuck he's living at, but I don't see it.
250. Oh no, 270, and they got it at 250, 251 to 226 right now. Hang on a second.
Okay, where are we at?
I don't remember what we were talking about.
The states.
Oh, right.
I just don't think he's not going to ever win. Nobody's going to ever win California again. I don't think, unless I don't know, they drop a bomb there or something and wipe out all the liberals. I just can't imagine anybody ever winning it again. So, I think New York might come in play eventually again for the Republicans because that whole city's going to shit fast.
Yeah,
and all the population's moving to the southeast part of the United States.
Oh yeah,
so those states are going to grow, and I don't think they're going to turn blue.
Have you seen, so some new details have emerged from the attempted assassination. 26 minutes they knew that guy was there.
True, that's the truth.
Yeah, the FBI has said that.
What?
Apparently the building that he fired the shots from, police were inside of that building. That's like where that was their housing or whatever.
So where did the ladder come from?
They said that he probably climbed up there via the air conditioner.
I have a hard time seeing that kid thinking that he's got the fortitude to do much. I really do. And I saw where a guy posted on our podcast page yesterday. He said, I work on a metal roof all day. They're hot. And he's just laying on it. And he goes, just laying on it. No shirt or no sleeves or nothing.
Right.
But we saw the kid up there. So I don't know. Do you think he had somebody helping him?
I don't know. I mean,
do you think just blind luck he got to where he was? I don't know if I'd call it luck, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just cannot believe that lady should have, she's going to lose her job. The house she's going to have to go in front of them and they're going to ask her to resign.
Okay. This is according to Reuters. Law enforcement spotted Trump shooter approximately, get that shit off of there. Why can't I want to see the headline. There it is. Okay. Law enforcement spotted Trump shooter nearly 30 minutes before shots fired. NBC affiliate reports.
I did see the FBI. The FBI did come out today and said that a cop did engage the guy and then left.
Right. Yeah, because he got the gun pointed at him, right?
Shoot this son of a bitch.
The man who tried to assassinate former President Trump on Saturday was spotted by law enforcement nearly 30 minutes before shots were fired. I had like a whole, if I can find it, I had like a whole timeline of what they saw. And apparently, and I'm going to have to remember off the top of my head until I can find corroborating news articles. But he went back and forth several times, had a backpack, didn't have a backpack. So, I mean, they were, going back to what we were talking about yesterday, they were kind of keyed in on him a little bit. They kind of knew something was going on over there. Just something was not right. But, I mean, gosh, 30 minutes before and you didn't ask the kid, what you're doing?
No, it's piss poor police work.
Or how, like, if that, like, surely they're all on the same frequency, radio-wise. Like, you wouldn't figure if the cop rolled up there and like, oh, shit, we got a shooter up here, radio, like, hey, get Trump off the stage. We got a guy with a gun.
I think they have to have some kind of, I don't think everybody's on the Secret Service channel probably, but the Secret Service channel definitely would monitor all the local agencies. And they would probably have a local agency, a network that they could all use. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you would think that the Secret Service has got their own communications.
This is according to the Post, new details emerged, reveal the exact timeline of failures, despite gunmen sticking out like a sore thumb. Let's see if any of this has anything worth looking at. Continue reading. Noticed Cook on the roof and took a picture of him and reported it at 5:45.
Okay, who do you report it to? If you report it to Secret Service, they didn't do their job.
No, I mean, I think we can safely say that this was a failure on the Secret Service's part and
all agencies that had any encounter with the guy.
They did a good job saving the president, but it sounds like there was a lot that we should have never even got there. Crooks, is it Crooks or Cook?
Crooks.
Incredibly, not only did Crooks manage to evade having his cover blown despite sticking out like a sore thumb, he secured his rooftop perch. That was another thing that has come out today. Secret Service knew that was kind of a weak point in their security. 130 yards. Cops were inside of it, but not on the roof during the shooting, obviously. Crooks was able to scale the building unchallenged before firing up to 8 shots of the AR-15, killing Trump supporter. But
this makes my stomach hurt. God almighty, we were so close.
But I mean, they knew he was there. They knew something was going on there. And they still let Trump go give his speech.
Well,
law enforcement said it's not clear as of Monday night whether or not any local officers who were tasked with securing the perimeter outside of the location of the rally were able to warn Secret Service about the gunman.
I don't believe that the local authorities were intending to hurt Trump.
No,
I don't think the Secret Service people that were there wanted to hurt Trump. But somebody somewhere at the Secret Service either gave a stand down, ignored all that stuff, and they should be fired. The person that put this operation together should be fired. It's their responsibility, and they fucked up. And the lady that's in charge of the Secret Service should be removed of her position too.
100%.
Because she's in charge of the buck. She said the buck stops here. Well, then resign. That's what you should do. You should resign. You screwed up. The ultimate thing you screwed up. The only worst thing would have been if our sitting president would have got killed.
Mm-hmm.
The second most important person is the one that you got shot. So either one of them, you shouldn't do it. I did notice last night, and I did not verify to see how true it was, but all of Trump's bodyguards now are men.
Well, when he walked out last night, yeah, they were all dudes.
Well, we need to do away with this DEI bullshit because it makes you wonder: is this police officer that did get a gun pointed and just went down? Is this another DEI hire where we just got to hire someone to be a police officer?
Well, I know that the Secret Service director, she said she wants 30% of Secret Service agents to be women.
You can't do that shit.
So,
they could be 40% if they're the right one. Like if Ronda Rousey wanted to be one.
Right.
She might be a good one to have. But Flo that they got there that couldn't get her gun out of her fucking waist belt, she don't need to be one. She has no business being a damn Secret Service agent guarding the fucking president. Do you want her to run a damn drug sniffing dog and sniff luggage in the airport? Got no problem with that. Because the Secret Service does that. And they do counterfeit stuff. So if that's what you want to put her on, that's fine. But to be on presidential detail, 5 Presidents is the name of the book that I read. And I just gave it away yesterday. And I think the guy's name was Glenn Hill that was a writer. But it's a book about...
Or Henry Hill.
I don't know. I'm going to look it up real quick. I can't remember. Glenn was our old principal, right?
Yeah.
I think it was Glenn Hill, though.
So, I don't know. There was a big time bungle here.
Yeah.
Big time. And I bet it doesn't happen again.
Well, we have forgotten it was 1963 since the last one. Clint Hill. Five Presidents by Clint Hill. You can get it on Amazon. It's a great book. It's about a guy that was a Secret Service agent. He started out with Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, and Ford. He became Jackie Kennedy. He became her personal bodyguard, basically. But he was around the Kennedys a lot. But it's really a good story. He talks about he was there the day of the assassination. It's a really good book. But anyways, it's called The 5 Presidents by Clint Hill. Really good. Highly recommend it. But someone screwed the pooch on this deal. I mean, it makes me sick to think. I'm not exaggerating one bit. I don't think if this would have went through, I think we would be in complete disarray in the country right now. I really do, because there are people out there that are just looking for an excuse to snap.
Right.
I mean, and there's a lot of them. It ain't just a few. All the things the left has done all these years, and they've gotten by with it and stuff. We really don't know what kind of problems we have until the people on the far right getting fucking involved. And I think we would have been at that place right now. I would not have wanted to be a sitting Democratic politician after this happened.
Right.
And then what would have going to happen is after they do something there, then the other side's going to go after some of them. So to be a politician would have been a tough run for the next probably 10 years or something or whatever.
Yeah.
Until they got shit straightened out. But that's where we're at in the country right now. I don't think Joe Biden has flamed this at all. I think he's been pretty good and pretty quiet and kind of stick to the deal. You know, they dropped the Trump charges on Trump in Florida the next day. I think the New York charges are going to be dropped soon. Do you? Or do you think they're going to keep them? I think the Supreme Court ruling's pretty more or less.
Right, yeah.
Could you imagine trying to put him in jail now?
No. But, I mean, a lot of these people are...
Oh, no. I know.
Doubling down.
I know some of these people want to double down would say that, but I'm telling you that the people who would have to live with that decision do not want that to happen. It would not be good right now. And I owe an apology. I don't think Jack Black is the one that said that about Trump. I think his guitar player did. I didn't know Jack Black was an actual musician.
Yeah.
I think it's his guitar player that made the comment, and I think they were in Australia, and the Australia Prime Minister, somebody's trying to tell him to deport him.
Oh, really? Well,
Yeah.
I saw that they've canceled the rest of the tour.
Yes.
Jack Black said, I saw what Jack Black said today. Like, it caught him off guard, and like he would never, you know.
So he come out not supporting the guy who said that.
Yeah, he says it's a live show. He said it, and what do you do?
Yeah, I mean, he's right. He didn't say it. It'd be like one of my guides saying something that doesn't represent us. I mean,
Right.
He represents us, but that's not our thoughts, and I'd fire the guy and be the end of it.
Yeah.
But supposedly they were trying to deport him from Australia or something.
Yeah, but I saw that he's had to cancel the rest of his tour.
Oh, he's done.
I mean,
He's big time done. There's a boat company in Michigan, and the guy came out and made that comment, and man, they've ripped him a new ass.
Let me see Jack Black's comments. Bandmate shooting. Let's see. After much reflection, I no longer feel it is appropriate to continue the Tenacious D tour, and all further future creative plans are on hold. I am grateful to the fans for their support and understanding. I was blindsided by what was said at the show on Sunday. I would never condone hate speech or encourage political violence in any form, is what Jack Black said.
Well, and he should. And it's not his fault that the guy did it, but he should have said something then.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's a tough one. I can't ever fault somebody for saying or not saying something in the heat of the moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like he didn't. I mean, all he said was thank you, and I think they kind of continued on with what they were doing.
Yeah, he should have. But if he would really wanted to nip that in the bud, he should have
He
done
would
it
have said
then.
that's not appropriate.
Yeah, and that would have been okay, and everybody would have been fine with that. It might have pissed his guitar player off, but
Right.
instead now he's going to be unemployed for a little bit. Secret Service director just come out and says the decision to leave the roof unguarded was deliberate because it was unsafe to have snipers on a sloped roof.
Is that not what they were on whenever
I think that was a flat.
roof? I don't know. There's just a lot of things about this that are, like you said, is it just blind luck? Is that all that it was?
I don't know. I mean, I just can't imagine there's that much incompetency, but there is a lot of incompetency in the world. A lot.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a
screwed up deal, and it's a big time screwed up world.
not going to get any easier for sure.
No, I don't know that. I don't even know what the political picture is going to look like because it looks like the one side has no go no more at all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just zapped it. I did notice this when they would name the state's delegates, because I listened to it on the radio up until the point that we called JD Vance, and then I turned it off after that. But I was listening to it driving, and I would notice one thing that you're going to see a lot of in the Republican that you don't ever see in the DNC, a lot of USA. I don't recall much USA ever at a Democratic event. And I'm not saying it's not, because I don't watch their shit. But it just doesn't seem to be there as much. It's kind of like we're voting for America versus voting for giving all our money to other places.
Yeah.
And there's millions of people out there that believe that live in this country, and it's sad. Mm-hmm. I mean, let's talk about JD Vance for a minute ago. Here's a kid. He grew up pretty poor, didn't he?
I'm not sure.
I'm gonna look it up, because from what I understand, it's a rags to riches story.
Don't know much about him.
I don't either, and I'm gonna go this. I know that he was a Marine. He went from a Marine to Ohio State, and graduated in 2 years, magna cum laude. Then he went to Yale, and he went to Yale to law school. Let me see what we can get on him. But I don't think that he grew up I think he grew up pretty poor. He's an author, venture capitalist. That sounds a fucking crook to me when it says that, because that's what that is. Politician, lawyer. That's two things against him. That means his parents had anal sex. And former United States Marine. Remember the Republican Party? Vice President 24, born in Middletown, Ohio. Let's see what happened. About poverty, drug addiction, blood coming from. Okay, not him. He didn't have drug addiction. See, Bowman was adopted by his parents divorced when he was a toddler. Bowman was adopted by his mother's third husband, Bob Hamill, and his name changed to James David Hamill. Hamill's childhood was marked by poverty and abuse, with his mother's struggle with drug addiction. Hamill and his sister, Lindsay, was raised primarily by his maternal grandparents, James and Bronny Vance, whom they called Mama and Papa. His grandparents on both sides had moved from Ohio, from the Appalachian Mountains area in Kentucky. After graduating from Middletown School, Hamill enlisted in the U.S. Marine Corps. He was deployed to Iraq as a combat correspondent. There he was assigned to the public affairs section. So anyways, he grew up in a pretty shitty life. So good for him.
Yep. Made it out.
Yep. He was an editor of the Yale Law Journal and graduated in 2013 with a Juris Doctor degree.
Until I'm proven wrong, I just really think that Trump is surrounding himself with the wrong crowd again.
Oh, fuck. He also fucking worked for John Cornyn, our great Texas senator, who's a piece of shit we wish we could get rid of, too. So I don't know what to think of him or not. I don't know. It's just going to wait and see what happened.
It does not sound like you're too excited about this.
I'm not. I'm not excited about him at all. I'm excited about Trump. Vice presidents don't mean shit. Look at Kamala. What the fuck she done? She ain't done nothing good at all.
You surround yourself with.
That part I agree with you on. I'm just saying a vice president is so... Not one person voted for Trump because he had Pence as a VP.
Trump could have gotten a cobbler in Milwaukee and put him as his vice president, and it's not going to make a difference.
Yeah, that, and I agree with you. But I don't know why he took JD Vance. I don't know.
My whole thing is, and I've said this for a couple weeks now, the insider always gets their man. And I feel like that's what they got here.
You go back historically, and it shows it.
And I just think that I really think that there's just a lot of things in America that need like a big overhaul.
Yep.
And it's not going to happen, I feel like.
The last non-insider to be a VP would have been Harry Truman, probably.
I mean, let's look at the vaccines. Let's look at how unhealthy we are as Americans. Let's look at what they're putting in our foods. Like, why is autism going through the roof? Why is obesity going through the roof? Heart disease. All of these things, we're poisoning ourselves.
Like I said, if people are tuning in to listen to me and you argue about this, it's going to be hard to, because we're both on the same page on this. I'm not a JD Vance guy. I'm not anti-JD Vance. I don't know shit about him. But what I know about him and who he's around with does not excite me. I don't like career fucking politicians. Now, he's only 39. He hasn't been doing it very long. But he's still in that inner circle. He went to Yale. So he was indoctrinated with all them Yale people. Now, the kid come from shit. I got to give him that.
He did.
Rised up from nothing to do something with his life. And that's something to be very proud of. He's obviously a very intelligent person.
Sure.
So hopefully some of that common sense will carry on.
I hope I'm surprised.
But he clerked under fucking John Cornyn or worked for him. Well, that's nothing to brag about. The only reason John Cornyn gets reelected is because the Republican Party spends more money in Texas to make him win his primary. Because I have yet to meet anybody in Texas that's excited about fucking John Cornyn, ever. Ted Cruz, I like Ted Cruz. I don't care much for John Cornyn. So I hope we replace John Cornyn soon. And if we took a dog turd from Jones Stadium in Lubbock from a stray dog that shit in the floor and took it and ran it, I would vote for it over John Cornyn.
It looks like Vivek is going to take JD Vance's spot in the Senate if he wins.
That's a good spot.
So that'll be good.
Now, DeWine is the governor in Ohio, right? DeWine.
Don't get me wrong.
I think that's the governor's name in Ohio is DeWine. JD Vance, if they win in November, will resign.
Yeah, DeWine.
DeWine, as soon as he does. And DeWine's a Republican, right?
Yep.
I think DeWine can put Vivek in.
And not have an election?
No. But they'll have to have an election when the next cycle comes around.
Right.
But I think he can put him in as a temporary senator.
Serve his
until the next election.
Appointment or whatever.
I don't know. Every state's different in that.
Yeah.
You know, some of them, they got these really weird deals where they don't even have primaries. They just run 3 or 4 or 5 different people can run and all from the same party, and the top 3 win or 2, and then they have a runoff. But I think he can put him in. When did JD Vance win his election?
Don't get me. I
Because
think
the Senate's a 5-year seat, right?
Oof.
I think it is. I think it's a 5-year term. So he can't be but in year 2 or 3 probably.
We'll go to his Wikipedia page. Let's see. Assumed office in January of 23.
Huh? He's been there 1 year? Okay. I'll bet Vivek, if he gets that spot by the governor, appoints Vivek in there, I'll bet you that he only gets to sit for a year. I think within a year they'll probably have a special election, which should be fair. You're supposed to have someone that's elected by the people, and it shouldn't be just an appointed position. But I'll bet Vivek will fill that for 6 months to 9 months whenever they do their stuff.
Vance defeated Democrat nominee Tim Ryan in the 2022 United States Senate election in Ohio. But why was he on the scene in 2016 is what I don't get. Whenever he was talking about...
Did he run for a representative or something?
Trump being...
He was working for John Cornyn, so he was probably working for some Republican there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see anything before then. But like you said, he might have had like this position where...
Yeah, I mean...
Or maybe that's when his book came out and he was just on like a press tour.
Could have been.
You know what I mean?
But he's only been in politics for a year.
Yeah.
You know,
that's what I'm getting here.
That actually, to me, is better. He's 1 year in, so they can't have blackmailed him that much by now.
In early 2018, Vance considered running for the U.S. Senate against Sherrod Brown, but decided not to. And in March 21, Peter Thiel gave $10 million to protect Ohio values, the super PAC created in February to support a potential Vance candidacy. Robert Mercer also gave an undisclosed amount. In April, Vance expressed interest in running for the Senate seat being vacated by Republican Rob Portman. In May, he launched his exploratory committee. So, yeah, Vance officially entered the race July 1st, 2021. And on May 3rd, 2022, he won the Republican primary and then the general election in November.
Yeah, so he's only been in politics a year. That to me is a good thing.
Peter Thiel is an American entrepreneur, venture capitalist, and political activist, a co-founder of PayPal, Planeteer or something, I don't know, Founders Fund. He was the first outside investor in Facebook. As of June 2023, Thiel is estimated to have a net worth of $9.7 billion. So that was who was behind.
So this venture capitalist that's worth $10 billion, basically, that owned part of Facebook, and he's a Republican. That's crazy.
Following PayPal, Thiel founded Calarium Capital, a global macro hedge fund based in San Francisco.
So he's one of the, they say there's a shitload of money in the Silicon Valley that's Trump people.
Thiel is a conservative libertarian who made substantial donations to American right-wing figures.
Well, good for him. Now, he's a PayPal guy. I thought Elon Musk helped start up PayPal.
I don't know anything about that.
Go to PayPal. Isn't there anything on PayPal? I'm curious to see about PayPal. I was thinking Elon was one of its founders.
Founders right down here. Elon Musk, yeah.
Yeah, I thought he was. Yep.
They all get in together. You got to make that right. You got to make that right investment. The rich get richer. So, anyway.
Well, when you have the money that they have, it's easy to throw money at stuff that could be successful because a lot
100%.
of places just need money.
Yeah.
And PayPal's a great thing. Venmo, PayPal, all them things like that. They're making a percentage off of it.
Uber.
I'm going to tell you, some smart fucker's the guy that come up with OnlyFans.
Yeah.
I mean, if he makes 5%,
Yeah.
that's a shitload of money for what some of them women are making.
Sure.
That Hawk Tui girl, she'd make $10 million a month if she had one. And she should have done it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago because her luster is going to wear off pretty fast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but she could have made a shitload of money. And she didn't have to do nothing. She could have just had bikinis on or something that made a ton of money.
Yeah.
But that guy's getting 5 or 10% of every one of them chicks.
They ought to get her to talk at the RNC tonight.
Well,
Hell, they had Amber Rose last night. Let's get the Hawk Tua girl.
Amber Rose was there because of that TikTok video about a month ago when she come out supporting Trump. Sure. And that's why she's there.
Let's get a girl night 2 talking about spitting on dicks. That'd be good.
I'm not taking up for Amber Rose. I said that's the reason they got her up there. They're trying to play the game to pull them other votes in because they know that people like me and you are still going to vote for who we were. But if they can pull in some of those other people, that's what it's about. I don't think it's the right.
She has 23 million followers on Instagram.
There you go. You know what? That's about what, 200 million short of Taylor Swift?
I don't know. 23 million is a big number.
It is, and that's why they're there. Is she the WAP lady, or is that who's done the WAP?
Cardi B, I think.
Okay. She's also a Trump person now, I think.
Oh, God.
I think so. I'm serious.
She'll be speaking tomorrow night.
She might be. She might be doing WAP on there. Look and see. I think Cardi B is now has become a Trump person.
God help us. Just save your endorsement.
I'm telling you right now. Did you see 50 Cent the other night?
Yeah. And I will say this. Trump is going to miss a huge opportunity if on Thursday night he does not walk out to fucking Mini Men by...
I don't even know what that is.
50 Cent. You don't know? You haven't seen Mini Men?
No.
Oh, my God.
But he's got that vote now. And that's killing the Democrats. That's their party. Their people.
Cardi B, as of 2 months ago, says she is not voting.
Well... Before she was a big Biden person, so that's a good deal. Did they cancel The View, or is that a deal?
I'm not seeing that.
I saw that yesterday too, which I really don't give two shits of View on anyways. A bunch of bitter old bitches that can't get laid.
Cardi B says she has experienced layers and layers of disappointment since Joe Biden became president. So,
well, then vote for Trump.
Just gonna sit this one out. Yeah, Mini Men. So 50 Cent got shot, and it's a song about him getting shot. Basically.
He wrote that movie that I watched. Is it Power?
I don't know.
It's a movie I've been watching on Netflix. It's a series, or it's on Amazon Prime. And I think
maybe he did.
I think it's called Power. They got Ghost on there as one of the actors, and he sells drugs and has a nightclub and stuff. But 50 Cent wrote that show. That's his show. He produces it, and I think he wrote it. It's really it's good.
Let's see if this is it. Because all of this is like you're gonna hear.
Does he sing everybody in the club's getting tipsy?
Yeah.
Many men wish death upon me. Blood in my dog and
Because they also did this. Remember when Brian Robinson got shot?
Yeah.
They said that's what he came out to, but I don't think he did.
That's probably him running. They just taking Trump or Brian Robinson.
Well, I don't think Brian Robinson. I think it was a fake also.
Okay.
But yeah, there's a lot of videos.
So the song's about. So 50 Cent got shot.
He did.
Did he walk out to that, or is this made up?
That's made up. He came out to Lee Greenwald.
Oh, yeah. Somebody said, well, Trump looks old. Well, fuck, he's old.
But, yeah, he needs to come out to that because I think 50 Cent, I think I've read, it could be bullshit, but I think I've read 50 Cent's going to be at the RNC.
Well, he was big proud of him the other night at his concert, putting up to it. I'm going to tell you something about Donald Trump. I want people to think about this.
It was fake. 50 Cent will not be attending the convention.
Donald Trump, and I can't remember who said this. Someone famous posted this the other day. Oh, it was Conor McGregor.
Yeah, yeah.
He's worth multi-billionaire man. He said he should be in the Mediterranean on his private yacht doing what he wants. And he loves his country so much he's getting shot trying to make it a better place.
Yeah.
God bless Donald Trump. Donald Trump was a wealthy man. He was born rich, but he become wealthy, uber wealthy. You can go to golf courses all over the world. He's got property. He's a sharp guy, and everybody on the left loved him because he become a Republican. He's not a perfect person by any means. There's only been one perfect person that ever lived, and it's not Donald Trump, and it damn sure ain't Jeff Stanfield. But that guy worked hard to get to where he is. You can say what you want about him, but he's a successful man. People, well, he bankrupted some businesses. Well, fuck, everybody that's owned a bunch of businesses has.
Yeah.
He also done a lot of tax deals because of that. He took every loophole that the government gave him. I like Donald Trump. I think he's a good dude. I don't know why anybody doesn't like him. He's done so much. He's done so much philanthropy. He's a very good person, and he does good for people of all colors. There's a joke when I was in high school. This is how long ago this has been, about Donald Trump got on an elevator, and there's some hot 20-year-old on there, and the door closes, and it's just on there, and she looks at him, and she said, "What'd you think if I gave you a blowjob?" And he goes, "Well, what's in it for me?"
Right.
And that's the personification. That's him.
Yeah.
He was on the cover of fucking Playboy. He's in Home Alone. I mean, he's I don't
self-promoter like no other.
He is big time, and there's nothing wrong with that. What Dad say? It's a piss poor dog that don't wag his own tail.
Yep.
But he makes every American think of that alpha male they know that's a cocky son of a bitch, that you want to be just like him in a way.
Oh yeah.
Now, you don't always want to be Donald Trump, but you want to be that guy
that can tell people to fuck off.
Yeah, you want to be that guy but the same guy that would help somebody, and that's who he is. And when you put the other side, you've got a guy that's been sucking off the government for 50 fucking years and using it, everything around him. Nobody wants that.
Right.
Unless you're a brainwashed Democrat.
Yep.
And it's a shame that our country has come down to this kind of election. This is going to be an election every time, but I just don't see that. Unless something major happens to change the flow of the news and stuff, the Democrats have nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I just saw Microsoft canceled their whole DEI team.
All right, seriously? That's great. This is the
Fired
trend.
them all.
Well, this is the trend we need. You got to quit hiring people that are fuck ups. If you can't do the job, you shouldn't have the job. Would you want a blind motherfucker driving a truck? I mean, but why not? It's not fair to blind people. That's the way they think about shit, though. You know, you want a motherfucker with no arms being a lifeguard? You know, well, why can't he be a lifeguard? Well, he ain't got no fucking arms. He can't swim.
Right.
How's he gonna save somebody? Well, it don't matter. You got to give him a chance. But that's as stupid as some of the other shit we do. You know, you take 100-pound woman and you want her to carry a 300-pound dummy, but she can't, so you make the dummy 120 pounds, and then she gets to pass the test that a man has to carry a 300-pound dummy for. Well, if you're 300, and a fireman, people are like, well, goddamn, there don't need to be no 300-pound fireman. You take a 200-pound fireman and you put all that fucking gear and shit on him and a Scott pack and stuff, and he's weighing 300 freaking pounds.
Yeah, sure. Easily.
Or you do jujitsu. You want some little woman or some guy that can't fucking bench press a bag of sand having to defend you in a fight?
Yeah. It should be a standardized test, and everybody should have to do it. If you can pass that standardized test, then you've got the job.
I don't have a problem with that. If you've got a vagina or you got a penis, don't matter to me if you can do your job.
Because Trump's a big man. Like, he's 6'3",
Yeah.
225, 250, in that range. I don't know. Never seen him on a scale. But, I mean, you should be able to carry him, drag that body weight to cover if you have to.
He's a 6'3", 230-pound man easy, I think.
Yeah.
And
that should be the bar. I mean, that should be the bar, 250 pounds.
Okay. I weigh right at 250.
Right.
I'm 6 foot tall. I'm 250. I could carry Trump, but goddamn, it wouldn't be easy. I'm telling you right now, it would struggle, but I could do it. I'd throw my back out or something. I'd hurt. Might be fucking in bed for a week later, but
Right.
I could get him and stuff, but
Yeah.
I don't know if I could pick him up off the floor.
You could drag him.
I could do that.
You couldn't fireman carry him. I don't know. Well, I could fireman carry him.
Oh,
but
you
I
could if you could get under him.
That's going to be the hard part.
That's right. That is the part. But
I could get him from here to the door and around the corner to cover.
Did you see that 6 Twink eating fat ass that was at the Suburban? She wasn't carrying shit. She couldn't even get her gun in her holster.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm not knocking
That one
on
lady
that.
looked like a badass though.
Yeah.
That one lady that slapped the door and turned around and fixed her jacket and put on her shades.
She's a real Secret Service agent. Those other ones
Seemed
are
like
probably
somebody I don't wanna
Homeland
fuck
people.
with.
But that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Them women in there, the women that are on the Secret Service should be no fucking different than Demi Moore and G.I. Jane or whatever it was.
Right.
A badass bitch that'll whip your ass. You know? And you're not. We've got way too many fucking movies like Queen Latifah is the Equalizer. Her fat ass ain't whooping nobody's ass. No. It ain't happening.
She's probably almost 60.
Yeah, but these people watch these shows with these women doing this shit, and they're, oh, she's a badass. That's a fucking TV show. And I got news for you. When you watch The Equalizer with Denzel, he ain't really doing that shit in real life either. There ain't very many old men that can do that. There are
but he
some.
looks good doing it.
He does. But there's just not very many people that do that stuff. But these people watch these shows with these women. Oh, they can do the same thing a man can. No, they can't.
In Hollywood, they can.
Well, and that's the
Not in
only
the
place.
real world.
I don't watch wrestling no more, but I'm assuming they've got women wrestling still.
I'm sure they had it whenever we did watch it.
So it's got whoever China, she was a big woman.
Yeah.
A big woman. She ain't really whooping Triple H's ass in real life. No. Not even close. Is he still around?
Yeah, he's running everything.
In real life, because he's married really to Stephanie McMahon, isn't he? Okay.
Because I think Vince had to step down. And
yeah. But China is probably the biggest woman I've ever seen when it comes to look like she could have been a UFC fucking fighter.
Yeah.
Or she may not have been tough, but she was a big, was her name Joey Lawrence or Joy or
don't give me a
Lawrence or something. But anyways,
5'10", 200 pounds.
A solid fucking muscle. She ain't whooping no 250-pound man though.
Suicide, right?
I'm sure a lot of them wrestlers, they have all that. You watched that movie?
Yeah, the Iron Claw.
Was it depressing? Fritz was an asshole, wasn't he, to his kids?
It was pretty bad.
Was he an ass to his kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Too many head concussions for him too.
He wanted the world, and I don't know how many liberties they took because it is a movie, and I don't know anything about the Von Erichsons until I watched the movie. But if you believe kind of what that movie was portraying, he wanted that heavyweight title to be in the Von Erichsen home and in the family. And
did Fritz know it was fake? It wasn't real wrestling?
I think it's just getting his son to that level. Because, I mean, he was a big wrestler, and
it was a different time though. Because
lost 4 to suicide, or 3 to suicide,
or drug overdoses. Some of them might have been accidental.
Well, I'm trying to think of how many. I can't remember because there's 3 in the movie. There's
one got toxic shock syndrome. And I think he had to have a leg cut off.
He had his shoulder. He had his arm. I don't know if he had his arm cut off. It didn't cut it off. He was one that committed suicide.
Was that David or Kevin?
It's one of the younger
Kerry?
ones. No, Kerry lost his leg in a motorcycle accident after he became the world heavyweight champion.
Kerry was the Adonis looking dude. He was had long, big hair.
That was David, I think.
No, David looked like a regular dude. He looked like he looked like just a little straight ass hair that people have. Put it up on the board there.
I am. So
yeah, Kerry's the one on the left. He looked like an Adonis. He was that guy that had the curly ass hair and looked like you could tell he was on a lot of steroids. He was cut like a bag of dope.
I'm trying to think. Kerry was the one that Kevin's the one that it was about. That was Zac Efron. He's the last one. He's the one that's still alive. Mike and Kerry died by suicide. No, Chris and Kerry. They didn't show Chris in the movie. just because they were like, listen, nobody's going to believe that he had 3 sons.
I don't even remember who I never knew a Chris Von Erich.
Yeah, so in the movie, it's Mike and Chris. Mike and Carrie commit suicide in the movie. Mike was like a brother that Kevin has said he should not have been in the wrestling ring. But his dad, because Carrie had lost his leg, and it's like, we got to continue this legacy. So Mike gets hurt in the ring, traumatic shock syndrome, like you said. David died in Tokyo. Some people speculate that it was actually drug overdose. And then some people say, no, he actually died of like a gut problem.
Carrie, Chris, and David were the famous ones. Or Kevin, I mean. Carrie, Kevin, Carrie, Kevin, and David were the 3 most famous brothers. And Carrie was the good-looking guy that all the women loved with the hair, the big muscles and stuff. Kevin was pretty much seemed like a normal guy.
Yeah.
And but there wasn't the money then because it was a regional thing. Because growing up in Texas, we had the Von Erichs. They wrestled out of Fort Worth at the Sportatorium, and their big rivals were the Freebirds.
Right.
And that was Michael Hayes, Terry Funk, and so I watched it every Friday and Saturday night. Loved it. Fucking got into it. It was on for 2 hours, 10 o'clock to midnight, every Friday and Saturday night on K-Texas 11 out of Dallas. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. But it didn't have the money and the appeal like it did because there was a place out of Atlanta that wrestled where Ric Flair wrestled out of.
Yeah, it was much more. It was each like region had its.
Yeah, it was regional. Wrestling was very regional then. And then the WWE come in later, and they sucked in all of them and made the big
NFL
thing.
basically.
Exactly, really a good thing of it. But the Von Erichs were the big guys out of the that Texas region.
Yeah.
It was them and the whoever the Freebirds were, and they fought all the time. And it was great. And you'd watch on TNT or TBS would have wrestling on Saturdays, and you would see people there, and then the next thing you know, they'd be over on the Texas region. So they would kind of move around. But the Von Erichs that was their home base. But I've heard it was a very depressing movie.
Yeah.
And that he was a real total asshole to his kids, and everybody knew that.
Jack Jr. died, the firstborn, he died by electrocution in 1959 outside of Niagara Falls home, outside of their Niagara Falls home. Down power line, electrocuted him. I think he was 5.
I wonder if Kevin's still alive, right?
I believe so,
I wonder where he's at now. I tried to get him on the podcast. I wonder if he's a Texas guy still.
It looked like he moved off. It said at the very end he moved off, created like a family compound, and he's got like 30 people living at this place. All of his kids and grandkids live.
I think they live between Decatur and Buc-ee's.
I don't know.
They used to live there. They used to have a compound there.
It might say here.
Yeah, somewhere right outside of Denton.
Build from Denton, Texas. Let's see. Go down to the end. Yeah, he lives in Hawaii.
Lives in Hawaii now?
Yep.
Good for him. Yeah, they used to have a compound between Decatur and Denton somewhere. I didn't never know. But everybody said that's the Von Erichs live over there. I mean, they were a big thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
I watched I told you this long ago. I watched that movie. It's an old movie. White Boy Rick.
Mm-hmm.
White Boy Ricky.
Matthew
with
McConaughey.
Matthew McConaughey. One of the most depressing movies I've ever seen in my life. I thought it was going to be about this kid becomes a successful drug dealer, then gets clean and does this shit. Motherfucker, what a shitty freaking movie. I mean, gosh almighty. You talking about a kid that got used by the system.
Right.
And his dad, and the drug dealers, and the cops. It was terrible.
White Boy Ricky.
It was a terrible show. So terrible. When it was over, I thought, boy, that was disappointing. And he did. I watched the new series Alone on Netflix. We're remodeling right now, and Jesus, our house is upside down, and it's. But anyways, I watched Alone. I finished it up, and it was not very good this time. Usually, the person that wins is a person that makes the best shelter. That's the key to the whole game. I don't understand the people that get on Alone that don't watch the seasons before, because they all get out and they're all avid. There were 6 people gone in like day 10. I'm like, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. But the key to it is they had this tent, and they got all this moss around it and shit. And I said, it's going to be 4 below zero in a couple weeks, and the wind's going to be blowing 40 miles an hour. You're not going to be warm. You can't get warm. Then you're fishing. They go out and fish, and they dick around. They kill one grouse. They go eat that one grouse. You better start storing some fucking food up, because when it gets cold, them grouse are gone. Grouse and no fishing.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they're starving to fucking death and freezing to death. And about 3 years ago, there was a guy on there and he built him a house out of rocks, the whole thing. You know what? He's fucking living. He could still be living there.
Yeah.
Because he was warm.
Got to get that shelter
and
right.
he saved a bunch of food up. And it just blows my mind on that show. But I watch every year. But it's the first day on day one. Michelle's like, I wish you'd quit telling them to build better shelter. So, well, I've watched the first 10 seasons of this shit. They need to do.
There's a blueprint here.
The new Netflix, or it's not Netflix, it's on HBO. The Hard Knocks with the Giants, this off-season one, I really have liked it because it gave you a whole different insight into free agency and the front offices of those jobs.
Hard Knocks is one of those shows that's just really taken off.
Oh, it's good.
From the first, like when they did it with the Ravens or whoever, to now, like they've got the in-season one, which I never watched. They've got training camp. They've got off-season now. I mean, they're really exploding.
And it's because it gives a reality side of football.
Right.
The NFL is the great, and I'm not a fan of a lot of things the NFL does. Their woke shit, I'm betting their DEI shit's fixing to go away too. I'm not a fan of any of that crap, but I love football. And everybody knows that. We're a football family. We love football. But the inside to those shows, it makes it more the human touch to it. They're just not players.
Yeah, I liked it. See, the last couple of seasons that I've watched it, I watched it with the Jets. A long time ago, they'd show the GM or the coach or whatever cut players.
Yes.
And that brought a human aspect into it. The last couple of times I've seen it, they're not showing you the harsh reality of a lot of guys are losing the dream stop.
Yeah, they work their ass off and it's done.
Yeah.
One day when you get called in that office, it's over.
Yeah, so I did like that in older seasons, and I don't know why they've gotten away from it.
But they have, I noticed. But that's what I've liked about the reality of, if you're a Giant fan and you love Saquon Barkley, when you watch that show, you'll see all the reasons and why he's not there no more.
Yeah.
And you'll see why they got Brian Burns, which I think it's just a show and I'm watching it, but the Giants are going to be very dangerous on defense. They have got 3 studs on their defensive line. They've got some good defensive backs. They're going to be a really good defensive football team. But if you're in a division with the Cowboys and the Eagles, you better be, because they're going to put some points up.
Yeah.
But that show, I've really liked that. I watched receivers, and I just have not. I really liked quarterbacks, except for Patrick Mahomes' wife got on my nerves.
All the
George
wives
Kittle's
on
wife does.
Oh, God, they all wear me out.
She's the worst one to me.
It's like they all saw Brittany Mahomes last year and was like, okay, there's the bar.
Yeah,
that's the standard.
She gets on my nerves. And what I liked about quarterbacks last year was Kirk Cousins put some stability to being a good person.
Right.
And just a good overall guy. And I really, but I've liked Justin Jefferson. I did not realize both of his brothers played at LSU too.
I didn't either.
And I sure like his mom.
Yeah.
Seems like a kid that comes from a very good family. And he seems to be a pretty good person. And so I like Justin Jefferson, or he's come across as someone I liked. And that's the same with Zeke. I was not a big Zeke fan until Dallas was on Hard Knocks. And then I got to see Zeke, and I thought, Zeke could be a fucking hunting guide.
Yeah.
He's just a big-ass kid.
Right. Well, all of them are. They're in their 20s. Multimillionaire, in your 20s.
Do you think it's hard for a guy like Aaron Rodgers to deal with someone like Garrett Wilson then? Because there's a huge difference. Because me and you, we have a lot in common, but there's a lot of shit that you're younger than me, and so it's a generational gap.
Right.
And then me and Payne, it's the same way. Well, a 21-year-old kid would be even different than Payne now. I won't know what we would.
Right.
And
yeah, I mean, could be. I mean, Matthew Stafford said that last year, the year you went to the Rams. It was hard to connect with those younger players, but you're the old guy now.
Are you just the old man he's just an old knowledge guy and we don't be? But I mean, you just don't have like a young quarterback. Joe Burrow. Yeah. I'm betting Joe Burrow's going to clubs with the guys some nights and hanging out, and then I can see Aaron Rodgers playing poker with the guys that work at the equipment manager guys.
Yeah,
because he has more common.
Age. Right. Yeah.
That's why old people go to cafes and sit around with other old people.
Yeah.
They can tell stories about their youth or something that everybody. When you get older, you realize that. But I wonder about that generational gap between them.
Sure.
Because I think Garrett Wilson's one of the most talented wide receivers in NFL.
Good. Yeah.
And I think this year you're really going to see it.
It'll be interesting. Training camp's opening up in the next couple of days.
Today, a lot of the rookies showed up. Yeah. All right, before we get off of here.
Okay.
Fantasy football question for you since we're touching everything.
Okay.
You get first pick. Who you taking?
We are a 2-quarterback league, so I want to, or not a 2-quarterback.
And PPR.
We're a super flex league, so I want to preface by saying that I am taking Patrick Mahomes.
If you have the very first pick.
Very first pick is Patrick Mahomes.
I listened to it yesterday. You know what his lowest yards he's ever thrown for is?
Probably last year.
Yeah, you know how many yards it was?
274.
I'm talking about for the season.
Yeah.
274 yards.
So a game.
No, he 4,100 yards last year is what he threw for. That's his floor.
Oh.
That's so crazy.
Oh. Mahomes yards per game. Let's look at that. 2023?
Yeah, it's not 274. It's less than that. Probably 238.
285.
No, that's
since 2022.
Oh, okay. So he's averaging.
So last year,
okay.
261.
261 is what he done. That's his ceiling. That's the worst he's ever done.
That's the floor.
Since then, or yeah, not the ceiling, the floor. Since then, Rashee Rice is probably not going to play this year. Xavier Worthy could be one of those guys that has 1,800 yards and receptions this year.
We'll see.
Just because I don't think he's going to catch a ton of passes, but I think he's going to go deep a lot.
Right.
But they got two deep guys, and they got Kelsey. They need Rashee Rice. They get Rashee Rice, boy, he's got a chance to throw for 5,500 yards this year. Mm-hmm. Legitimately. So that's your first pick.
Yep.
See, I'm going to go running back.
Well, go running back, and
I will.
You can watch me play for the championship.
In the bottom league bracket, not the top.
I got a whole system, Jeff.
All right, both leagues are filled up.
I got a whole system, so you just wait and see.
We cannot wait. That's about a month away. We'll be drafting in about 6 weeks for our football team. So, anyways, folks, that's it. We appreciate y'all very much. I've got some dates left about the boss. I've got a few spots left on the boss hunt, not a lot because it's mostly 1s and 2s, but that's November 18, 19, and 20. I've got some dates in December. I've got some dates between Christmas and New Year's. I can do some fathers and sons, fathers and daughters, family hunts. Get a lot of calls on them. Phone's starting to ring. It's after July 4th, and we start really starting to fill in. It's that time of year for us. Off season is over. Anyways, if you need anything, you let us know. This comes out tomorrow or Wednesday?
Thursday.
We'll be at Squad Fest on Friday. Come by St. Louis and see us. We'll be at the Boss booth. Come by and check out the new Steel Reserve from Boss. Thank you. God bless y'all. Have a great week.
Go to our YouTube. Watch the new episode of First Family of Waterfowl Season 3. Love you. Bye. Watch for deer. Check out all of our sponsors. Go check out Shin Gear, Dirty Duck Coffee, Dive Bomb Industries, Pacific Calls, promo code BHP25, Boss Shot Shells, MLR Graphics, Looking Glass Podcast, Mitchell Chevrolet, Lucky Duck, Mallard Bay, Ducks Unlimited, Double T British Kennels, Mossberg, Stanfield Outfitters, Alpha Outdoor Specialties, and Hemp Hill Farm, promo code BHP.